Alright guys, welcome back to another Opera Omnia video where we're going to continue the pool planning for future FRs, and for this video we are going to be talking about the FR weapons that are going to be releasing in the month of August. By the time I am recording this video, Desh will be releasing with his FR soon, and then Tidus will be the last one for the month of July. So we're going to go ahead and start talking about some of the FR weapons that are going to be coming out for the month of August. So we do have Gabranth, we have Ursula with a Lost Chapter, we have Fujin with the Heretic event, then we finally have Sherlotta, which I am very excited about. We have Reno's FR weapon with his intersecting wheels, and then finally we're going to end it off with the Cloud of Darkness, who gets her FR weapon. So let me know down in the comment section below for only the characters for the month of August who are going to be getting an FR, which ones you are going to be pulling for. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Let's first talk about Gabranth. Now, Gabranth, he does get a rework, he does get a BT and whatnot, and he does get an FR, and his FR conditions are not hard to meet. Now, his partner is going to be Gal. Now, whenever you use his FR ability, he inflicts the Criminal's Mark and the Judgment debuff to all targets for 6 turns. And then, of course, when jumping into the fourth time, his FR conditions are pretty easy to meet, and there are plenty of characters that can help out in meeting either of the two conditions. So the first one is going to be whenever the party inflicts Break, it increases by 30%. And then whenever the party attacks a debuff target, it increases by 15%. Now, if we take a look at the first condition, some of the characters that meet this condition is going to be of Cloud of Darkness. We have Bards, we have Strago. Katif is able to do it with a Force Break. Sephiroth is also able to do it as well. If we keep on going, Tidus, who is going to be releasing before Gabranth's FR and BT release, he does have Break Reset in his kit. Same for Jekt. El Naj has a Force Break. You also have Vayne. Vayne in the future, he's going to be getting a rework and an FR, so that's a character to possibly consider to pairing up with Gabranth later on, of course, whenever he gets his rework and whatnot. Gabranth, of course, I mean, he does Force Break and Break Reset, so I mean, he pretty much he meets both of his conditions in general. I mean, like, his FR definitely caters to him, but of course there are other characters that is able to help out with meeting those conditions as well whenever you pair him up with Gabranth. Lightning, she has Break Reset. Other characters, you have Machina. Machina does have Force Break as well. Ramza also has Force Break. Arden does have Force Break and Break Reset, and so, you know, the list can go on, and I could sit here all day and just talk about each character and what exactly they do. But of course, this is why all of this information is on the Cydia compendium. Now, when it comes to the other one, whenever a party is attacking a debuff target, basically, I mean, all of the characters that you see here with the red debuff marker, I mean, they all inflict some type of debuffs. You also have call ability as well. There are plenty of call abilities that will be able to inflict either 1 or maybe up to 4 debuffs onto the enemy. So it just depends on which ones you're going to be using for, but like in general, as long as you have some type of debuff on the enemy, then you will benefit from that 15%. Then if we take a look at his BT, since he is going to be getting a BT with his release, his BT is a very solid BT to actually pick up, in my opinion, and I'll talk about it more as we get closer to his release. But in general though, he provides the party with Stolen Max Brave Overflow, HP damage up, Brave damage cap up, and he also provides Brave another increase in the Brave damage cap up at 2 out of 3, and he also provides HP damage cap up by 20%. Now, the other thing about this is that while his BT effect is active and the target has at least 4 debuffs, the target's active Criminal Mark or Outlaw's Brand debuff that is already on them is going to change to the Felon's Punishment. Now, this debuff is a 80% attack down, a Brave Poison by 120% of initial Brave, HP damage down by 50%, and an HP damage resist down by 30%. Best believe Gabranth is definitely there to just make it's extremely annoying for the enemy to do a lot of things. Cause that's the whole thing about Gabranth. Aside from being able to break and whatnot, and etc., like he does have some very solid debuffs, and he does benefit from those debuffs as well, including your teammates as well. But just having his like BT effect active and whatnot is pretty good to have overall for Gabranth. So Gabranth is a pretty solid character for when he does get his BT and his FR released. Now, for me myself, am I going to be pulling for his kit? More than likely, I probably will. I will probably be using some gems to pick up his FR and his BT because I already have everything else. He does get a rework as well with his FR and BT release. He does get a rework with his skill 1, skill 2, and his LD ability. I'm not going to go too much into it. Again, like there's a lot to go through it, and I will probably, or more than likely, I'll just go more in depth with Gabranth and his partner for this release. So yeah, I will definitely pick up Gabranth again. He definitely is a character that, in my opinion, that is actually worth picking up. I did actually pull for him in JP, and I don't regret it one bit. He did what he needed to do, and it was to annoy the crap out of the enemy with his debuffs and having a consistent amount of breakage, so long as you have a certain amount of debuffs with Gabranth. So overall, a very solid character. Next up, we're going to have Ursula. Now, Ursula will be getting a rework and her FR weapon. Her rework is not bad at all. She does gain an increase, or an increase in HP dumps. She does get higher splash damage with a skill 1. Her skill 2 now increases the HP damage to 100% of current Brave 3 times, because she does actually increase party Brave by 20% of max Brave before the HP attack, and then she deals her attack. And it does have instant turn rate, doesn't increase turn count unless being used as a friend support or summon support. So that's really, really good. When it comes to her LD ability, 5 HP dumps in total, which is very nice. 20% increase in the total HP damage dealt after each HP attack, except for the last. In between those HP attacks, except for the last. So overall, not a bad rework. Her EX, if I'm not mistaken, does actually get a good amount of, actually 3 HP dumps. So overall, it's not too bad. But like the big thing about Ursula is not only with the rework that she's going to be getting, she's going to get like additional HP attacks and whatnot within her kit, but like she's all about like providing brave battery to your teammates whenever you use certain abilities in her kit, which can actually come in handy and does actually support her FR. So her FR, which is Ash Ash is her partner. So with this, after she deals her attack, she also sets party Brave to 100% of max Brave and does nothing if over. So like if your max Brave is already at maxed out and whatnot, like then that doesn't really do anything. It doesn't add on top of that. So her FR. Her conditions for FR is not too bad. So it's a 15% increase when Brave is at least 20% of max Brave at the start of the turn. There is a call ability, which, if I'm not mistaken, it should work, which is going to be Iroha's call ability, or just having Iroha in the team could also help too. But more than likely, you probably use it as a call ability, at least I would. But that would help out in meeting that condition, because if I'm not mistaken, Iroha's call ability, you do retain 20% of your max Brave after your HP attacks. If I'm not mistaken, I'll double check here, and I'll put it down in the pinned comment in case I'm wrong. But she does help out with this condition, but remember, Ursula does have the ability to be able to battery the party as well with certain skills. Now it will increase by 30% when the Brave is at least 100% of max Brave at the start of the turn. And again, like Ursula is definitely one of the better characters to help out with her own FR conditions. Like really, in my opinion, the way that I look at Ursula, like I feel like Ursula, even though there are other characters that you see here that is able to help out with increasing or not increasing, but meeting the conditions for her FR ability. I feel like Ursula is like, when it comes to her FR, I feel like it's more catered to her, but you do have other characters that is able to help as well. So you have Warrior of Light, you have Ursula herself, Cryo with her overhead definitely helps out a lot. General Leo, you have Rude, Steiner, Yuna, Penelo, the list can go on. So for me myself, if you want me to be 100% honest with you, which I normally am, I didn't really use Ursula after I pulled for her FR weapon, just because, like, trying to keep up with all of this, even though it may not seem bad to some, but, like, later on down the line, there's gonna be, like, some fights where, like, you're gonna be taking a bunch of brave hits, and Ursula's FR may not be the best for those specific fights. So, like, in my opinion, like, her FR ability is more situational, just depending on what type of fight you're going up against. But for me myself, though, since I didn't really use her like that in JP, even though she does become a very solid character, I am probably going to throw maybe about 100 to 200 tickets just to get it for showcase purposes. But other than that, I don't really see myself using Ursula again, just like I did on the JP side. So I'm not going to be going too crazy for her FR, and I'll probably just hold off until like maybe like a rerun or something like that, because they have been doing as of late, they have been doing banners with like 2 FRs in them. So like if by chance I don't manage to get it, then hopefully later on I can actually pick it up with a rerun. So but yeah, overall though, kit wise, very solid. FR, if you have no issues with meeting her conditions, then she's not bad. It's not too bad of an FR, but like in general, like I said, it's meh. Anyways, Fujin, oh boy. Okay, so Fujin does get a rework in one, and her rework to her overall kit, aside from her FR, is actually not that bad. I mean, like, whenever you use Metsu 3 HP dumps, the plus version, I believe, just gets an increase in potency, and it also initiates a knockback, so not too bad. Same for her skill 2, also gets additional uses, 3 HP dumps. The plus version gets an increase in potency, but it also initiates a knockback as well. And then with her LD abilities, she now starts off with the Gust, which I believe is her overhead, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check that actually before I continue, because that's gonna bug me as well. No, it's a buff. I apologize. So she does start off with a buff at the start of the quest. 5 HP dumps in total for her LD, which is not bad at all. A big increase in stolen max brave overflow. She does increase brave in between attacks, except for the last. And then her overhead also gets an improvement as well. So 20% party HP damage up, and then whenever the party deals weakness brave damage, the brave gain gets expanded to the entire party and adds post-turn party brave regen by 70% of max brave. Now do remember that Fujin, she is a wind enchanter. She does provide wind enchant to the party, so that can easily be met 100%. Now, when it comes to her FR, though, her FR is definitely not the best FR. Her FR partner is Shadow. She increases party brave by 50% of max brave. Then she deals her attack and whatnot, splits HP damage, and she delays all targets by 1 turn, and she initiates the knockback chase sequence. So when it comes to the conditions, a 20% increase whenever the party selects a wind ability. Again, Fujin is able to provide wind enchant, so that can easily be met. You ain't gotta worry about it. And then a 40% increase whenever Fujin initiates a knockback. So most of her kit is able to initiate a knockback, but not everything. So you're gonna have to find characters or something to be able to help out with that condition. In my opinion, the perfect character to help out with this condition is going to be Selfie, with that Rapture debuff, making it so that basically every single action, or not action, well yeah, technically it is an action, any type of HP attack action will initiate the chase sequence, so that will activate the knockback, the chase sequence. So Sophie is definitely the #1 character for that. But we do have other characters in terms of the chase sequence. Kane with his EX ability, Cloud with his skill 2, Zidane with his EX ability, Sid Reigns, everything. Noctis with his skill 2, Leo, and then Keys as well. And then when it comes to dealing wind damage, you can see some of the characters you got going on here. Bart, Sabin, or Sabin, whatever, whichever one of the two you want to go by it. Fujin herself, of course, Alice, No, so on and so forth. So for me, myself, I actually did not manage, if I'm not mistaken, I didn't pull for her FR weapon because I believe at the time I was actually a little bit tight on resources, so I was unable to pull for her FR weapon. But I will throw some tickets at it just because you guys already know at this point that I like to give characters a chance, especially those that definitely look frowned upon, but like I like to at least somewhat give them a little bit of a shot just to kind of like show off like what they could do and like what you could potentially do to be able to make them look good. But for showcase purposes, I will throw maybe like 100, 200 tickets and whatnot. But like in my opinion though, for those who like debating if you should pull for her FR, I would say no, but having her call ability of like from her LD to get access for that wind enchant would not be a bad idea to pick up, especially for future Shinryu fights. So yeah, her overall kit though is solid, but when it comes to her FR, it's it's not the best. Next up is going to be Sherlotta. Now, Sherlotta, oh man, Brave gains Queen for the win, baby. Now, she does get a rework if I'm not mistaken. She also gets her FR and her BT weapon. Now, her BT is, again, Brave gains Queen. Party gain Max Brave Overflow up. Party HP damage up, party Brave gains up, party Brave regen, and when dealing a Brave hit, increases Brave by 10% of max Brave. And then at 2 out of 3, more Brave gains up, and then HP damage cap up, which is nice. And I know everybody loves the HP damage cap up, I included, or myself included, excuse me. When it comes to her FR though, which Katsif is her partner, she does increase party Brave by 80% of max Brave. Then she sets all targets Brave to 0 unless they are already broken. Then she deals her attack, and it makes it so that it does not increase the relic staff's Brave accumulation. So that's one thing to note about that. And then when it comes to her force, her force conditions, or her FR condition, excuse me. So you gain a 40% increase whenever the party uses an ability change from her from a Brave or HP attack tree. So basically, if your Brave command or your HP attack command gets changed to something different, then it will count towards this first condition. And then a 20% increase whenever Sherlotta recovers Brave to the party, except for herself. So, her her Brave attack command, whatever the name it is that gets changed to, like that provides Brave. Her skill 1, and then her EX ability is able to do the same as well. So like half of it is gonna be more reliant on Sherlotta, but the other half of it, you can actually have teammates that will help you out in meeting that condition. So and you have you do have a couple characters that is able to help out, but do note that when it comes to the change Brave or HP command, there are plenty of characters out there. I mean, you may or may not have noticed it, but there are definitely a good amount of characters that is able to, or that does have an ability change from the Brave and HP attack. But when it comes to the other condition, when it comes to the Brave battery and whatnot, which will help out with Sherlotta, these are the characters that you see here that will be able to meet with said condition. So overall though, in general though, like Sherlotta becomes an excellent character. Again, Brave gains Queen. Like if you, let's say like you encounter like reductions and whatnot, like Brave gains right here, Sherlotta is the way to go. Like she provides a high amount of brave gains that it's not even fun. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say brave gains, but brave gains. But no, like in general though, like her kit is very, very solid. You may or may not use, and this is just based off of my experience, but like you may or may not use her FR ability. You could probably rely on like somebody else's FR ability if you're considering like going into the BT phase with Sherlotta, but really like you are just going to be taking advantage of her BT effect, and that's pretty much about it. So for me, myself, I will most definitely be chasing for her kit. It is definitely worth it. It is a very sought out, not really the FR, but definitely the BT is the top prize here, but I will still chase for both just because like I can be a bit of a completionist. So if I'm missing one thing and I have the other, then it kind of bugs me. So yeah, Sherlotta is definitely worth it later down the line. Now the second to last one is going to be Reno. Now Reno is actually became one of my favorites, or like my top 10 favorite FR abilities to actually have, and I talked about this in my Dash video, and I'm gonna talk about it again in this one. But Reno, he does get a rework and whatnot, which I'm not going to be going over. Again, you can check it out on the Cydia Compendium. But his rework is solid. It's not too crazy changes, except for like his skill 2 and skill 1. I mean, they gain like more HP dumps and whatnot. Some of the other stuff is just kind of like little things here and there, but that's about it. But like in general though, like he does have a solid kit, but his FR is definitely where it's at. So with Quistis being his FR partner, he does increase, or excuse me, he does deal his FR attack, splits HP damage. He does inflict that pyramid debuff on all targets, which is nice, and that is that debuff from his LD ability that basically makes it that so that the enemy just doesn't do anything to you. Like they'll attack you or whatnot, but like nothing will happen to you. Like if they try to inflict debuffs, nothing will happen to you. So it's a very solid debuff, even though it's a one-time thing, but it's a very good one. Now when it comes to his FR conditions, you have 3. So, with the F1 conditions, a 20% increase whenever the party selects a Thunder command. There are plenty of characters out there. Even though Reno does not provide Thunder party enchants, there are plenty of characters out there, or just call abilities, where you can meet this condition. A 20% increase whenever the enemy's turns end. So yes, this is an FR where you pretty much have to let the enemy act and do their thing. Even if, like, let's say you need to like help in like mitigating damage or anything like that, like if you have like a tank or something like that, like protecting you and whatnot, like it still will apply to it, because as long as the enemy's turns ends, regardless of what happens, you will gain that 20% increase. And especially if if an enemy like loves to have turns, then this is definitely the better FR to have, or this type of FR is great to have in those fights where the enemy just loves turns. And especially if you have off turn damage, just knowing that you are getting an increase whenever the enemy finishes their turn, and if you have off turn damage trigger, or if you have a counter attack that triggers while their turn is active, then just gaining that percentage is like an easy way to shave off the enemy's HP, which is one of the reasons why this became one of my top 10 favorite FRs. And then finally, a 30% increase whenever the enemy uses a melee or ranged ability. So if the enemy is using magic, then you will not gain that 30%. So you got to make sure that the enemy is using either of these two type of attacks. Again, the Cydia Compendium, when it comes to like fights, if you're trying to figure out like if the boss does deal any type of like melee or ranged or magic attacks, then the Cydia Compendium, you can easily search up the enemy, or you can go to the character, which, let's say example Reno, you can go over here to events, you can go to his intersecting wills, you can check out the enemy, and then you'll be able to tell what type of attacks the enemy actually does to you, which of course the enemy that we are going up against deals ranged brave damage, so that is going to help out in meeting his FR condition. So like for me myself, I will definitely be picking up his FR again. It's one of my top 10 favorites. I have no problems with the enemy acting, especially if I do benefit from the enemy acting, then that's not a problem with me, because that will just increase the HP damage bonus easily. And again, especially for future fights like the what is it? The Act 3 Chapter 9 fight where you're going up against Artemisia, then she does gain a bunch of turns, and his FR ability would actually be really good for that fight. So, you know, that's kind of like an idea of an example of a fight that Reno's FR would actually work for. So, overall, very solid character. He becomes a very solid character with his rework, and his FR it definitely fits my playstyle, and I would definitely be pulling for his FR. And then finally, we are going to be ending it off with Cloud of Darkness. Cloud of Darkness just actually got FR boards just not too long ago, actually, like a few days ago on the JP side as I'm recording this video. So she does get a rework, and her rework is very, very good in my opinion. I mean, like, she gets HP dumps galore whenever she is using Uncanny Beam, which I believe is a counterattack. Don't quote me on that. It now gains 2 HP dumps. Her skill 2 HP dumps. And then whenever you are using the change one, which whenever you reach 5 stacks on her overhead, 6 HP dumps in total. Yeah, she becomes a powerhouse. When it comes to her LD, 5 HP dumps in total. So yeah, like Cloud of Darkness, like, she is ready to slap. She definitely has she's definitely back, and she is ready to deal some damage. Now, when it comes to her FR, in my opinion, I feel like is more for her than anything else. So her FR partner is going to be X-Def. She does grant 5 stacks to her overhead, and these stacks can exceed if she is already at her 5 stacks. It does deal split HP damage. It delays all targets by 1 turn. So if you take a look at the FR conditions, so whenever the party, except for Cloud of Darkness, uses a magic attack command, and this also includes off-turn triggers, then it increases by 5%. It increases by 20% when a party delays a target, which includes break, at the end of the turn. Again, this is definitely, this right here just fits Cloud of Darkness, like, easily. A 30% increase whenever the party delays a target, excludes break at the end of the turn. Again, Cloud of Darkness can easily meet that condition as well. Definitely fits her more. And then a 5% increase, and we will ignore this 20% because this is with FR boards. But a 5% increase whenever Cloud of Darkness uses a magic command, and this includes off-turn trigger. So as you can see, there is a whole lot to her FR condition, but most of it definitely caters around her kit. Now, when it comes to the conditions, when it comes to delaying, you have Garland, you have Emperor, you have Cloud of Darkness herself, Cecil, Kane, Edward, whenever that sleep debuff goes off. You do have Selfie, Cypher, Fujin, on. I mean, the list goes on and on. Like, there is a lot of characters that can help meet with delaying the target and whatnot, either including break or excluding break. And then when it comes to the break reset, you have Cloud of Darkness herself, you have Zande, Palom, Dorgan in the future, but that's gonna be like way down the line. Stargo, Jack, Zidane, King, Arden, you know, so on and so forth. So the list goes on. So for me, Cloud of Darkness definitely becomes a powerhouse. Like, I do have a BT Plus and whatnot on my global account. Will I put for her FR? I will probably throw some tickets at her, you know, here and there. But, like, I feel like when it comes to her FR ability, I think the only time that I will probably use her FR is if I am going to go into the BT phase with Cloud of Darkness. Just because, like, with her upgrades, I definitely want to take advantage of just gaining all of those all of the HP damage bonus percentages, since again, like, when it comes to her conditions, like I feel like it's definitely catered towards her. So I'll throw some tickets at her. I'll probably throw like 100 or 200 tickets. Is it necessary to have? In my opinion, no. Is it necessary to pull? In my opinion, no. And the only reason I say that, and this is again based off of personal experiences with using Cloud of Darkness, but I didn't really use Cloud of Darkness like that, especially because after Cloud of Darkness is when Luna Freya comes. And at this point, I think everybody know like the whole like shenanigans when it comes to Luna Freya. So that's why I didn't really use her like that much. I may use her, like I have not tried her out yet now that she got FR boards and whatnot. She didn't get a rework, all she got was boards, so I may try to give her another shot and see how she actually performs. But as of right now, I'll probably give her like 100 or 200 tickets for her FR, and that's about it. So but yeah guys, that's gonna be it for the video. I know that it was a bit long, but we definitely had a lot to cover between all of these characters, so do let me know down in the comment section below what you're gonna be, or what your plans are going to be for these FR characters that are gonna be dropping for the month of August. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Can't wait to see what you guys let me know, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one.